Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Eugen. In this video, I'm excited to bring you guys a first look at the first Fallschirmjager, a new division available in the third Nemesis DLC, Battle for Rimini. If you'd like to read the description on the right hand side, feel free to pause the video and take a look, but I'm going to be jumping straight on in. As usual, I'll be going through all of the units that are available in the Battlegroup, and I'll be putting together a quick deck. So let's go ahead and jump into the Recon tab. So a lot of these infantry units at least will be quite familiar from the third Fallschirmjager, but let's go through them. We first of all have the Bmw R75, reasonably fast recon, good suicide recon, but can also provide a radio to the front line. Then you've got the Falcium Mg34s, a two-man standard recon squad with two MP40s. Love the Falcium uniforms, they look really cool. Can be brought in with the Kubel MG, which is a 5-point truck with the Mg42. The Mg42 is actually better now than it was, so maybe this is actually a decent value just to provide a little bit of extra support at maximum range. It might not die that quickly to light arms fire at maximum range, especially against things like DPs, which don't have the best damage in the world. But either way, that is available there. Falcium Sharpshooter, 3-man squad, does make them a little bit more resilient, but 25 points, you do pay the extra 5 points for that extra man, and they're going to be doing the same job regardless against AT guns, against infantry squads at a distance, against support weapons, that kind of thing. You're going to want to use snipers to take those out. Falcium Mg34s are available, 4-man squad, 2 MP40s, 2 FG42s. And we've seen these before in the third Fallschirmjager. Kenograd's always awesome, but there is this new unit here, the SPA-38R. This is a transport truck. What's the speed on it? It is 80 kilometers per hour. That's actually pretty damn good. That matches the Opel Blitz, so I would suppose that that's actually the truck that's used in the infantry tab. Alright, Falcium Panzerabwehr here. These are a 10-man squad, one of my favourite squads from Steel Division Normandy 44. However, in Steel Division 2, they're kind of like a glorified Panzerschreck squad. Just a Panzerschreck squad with basically really high health and the exceptional stealth. So they can be treated exactly like a Panzerschreck squad, they just can stay alive once they fire their first or second rocket, and that can be really quite nice. They do have a reasonably good combat effectiveness at close range, but they're going to get trumped by most specialized close range infantry. So that's pretty much your recon. The only other interesting thing to point out here is that the card availability is actually quite low. There's only 2 cards of Aufklärer, only 1 card of Scharfschütze, only 1 card of Falcium Panzerabwehr. So you don't really have all that much choice in the Recon tab, but there's not really many cards to fill anyway. Let's move into the Infantry tab. So first of all, some Ostlegionär, East Legionaries. Interesting. They have the Soviet weapons, so PPSH, Mosin Nagant, and the DP-28. They are disheartened 15-point squads, and not a huge fan of them. The fact that they have a machine gun, though, is kind of nice. They could do some damage at sort of the medium range, I guess, but disheartened troops just aren't that exciting at the moment. Get 12 of them in Phase A, 16 in B, 20 in C. We have Grenadiers. These have Mg42s, though. That's quite nice, actually. The standard Grenadiers normally have Mg34s, so the fact that these Grenadiers have Mg42s for 20 points is pretty damn nice. They do come in with the Opel Blitz there. The transport's the same for the Ostlegionärs as well. Yeah, I quite like the option of these actually, with the Mg42s. They are a pretty good line infantry option. Then there's the Falcium Stostrup. Falcium Stostrup, they have 2 submachine guns, 3 FG42s, a Bren gun, and the 2 Molotovs. That is an interesting combination of weapons. They could do some serious damage at sort of like the close to medium range. If you, for example, had something coming towards you and you're doing damage with the FG42 and the Bren, and then they get into the 100-meter range, you add the submachine gun damage on top, and then throw Molotovs at them, that's just going to demolish squads so fast. The other nice thing about having a Bren as a machine gun in this squad is it has the move and shoot option, which means it can fire on the move. So that's really cool. You get 6 of these in Phase A, 9 in Phase B, and 12 in Phase C. You have to bring them in at 1-star veteran C. We do have the option for Grenadier. Nothing new here. We've seen the Grenadier many times before. The smoke grenades there, giving them a little bit of utility. Then there's the Fallschirmjager, a 4-man squad with 2 MP40s, 2 FG42s, and a heat grenade, anti-tank grenade. No, nothing special on the transports here. No, just Kedingrads and the SPAs. Oh, this one actually used the SPAs, yeah. It looks like these Falcium units can use the SPAs, and then like the standard Grenadiers and stuff use Opals. That's kind of cool. I like that little touch. Anyway, Fallschirm Pioneer, not the best flamer squad in the world. They've got 2 MP40s, 3 G43s, the flamethrower, and smoke. Pretty standard setup for the sort of Sturm Pioneers, I guess, but lack the extra submachine guns to really give them a lot of damage. It'd be nice if they had a few FG42s, actually. That'd be pretty awesome. Maybe a little broken, though. These Falcium Sturm Pioneers are, in fact, raiders. Got to point that out. Which does give them the exceptional stealth. That's kind of cool. Then there's the standard Fallschirmjager. These are, of course, raiders as well. They've got 2 FG42s, 6 G43s, and 2 Mg34s, making them incredibly dominant at mid-range engagements. At longer ranges, they do okay with the Mg34s, but it's not as good as having 2 Mg42s. So there is that. Also, Fallschirmjagers are generally quite expensive. So make sure you're getting value out of them if you're going to use them. Bastion Pioneers, these things do incredible damage at mid-range with the 2 FG42s and 9 G43s. They are 12-man squads, which is why they have the extra G43s there. Only 1 machine gun. As things get closer, they do have the HE. So I do really rate Falcium Pioneers quite highly, just because they have an option for all engagements, more or less. But I would recommend keeping them away from longer range engagements, especially at the 750 meter range, because of that 1 MG34 as opposed to 2. So there you go. That's the infantry tab. Most of these, like the Fallschirmjäger and the Fallschirm Pioneer and the Fallschirm Sturm Pioneer, I'm pretty sure we've seen before. Fallschirmjäger as well, actually. I'm not sure if the Fallschirm Stostrup are anything new. I feel like they could be. Interesting they're not raiders, though. Our tank tab, we've got a bunch of Tigers. This is pretty easy to look at. It's just 3 guards of Tiger E's. 1 in Phase A, 2 in Phase B, 4 in Phase C. You have to bring them in at the 1-star veteran C. There's 3 cards of them available, and then there's 1 Tiger E Führer available in Phase A. Interesting. Now over to the support tab. Fallschirm Flammenwerfer available. I think we've seen these before. No interesting transports there. Then there's the MG216. This is just the Maxim. This could actually be relatively decent. I think that disheartened machine gun teams are actually okay, because generally they're going to be shooting at infantry that can't fire back from a distance, and that's how you get value out of them. For 20 points for a machine gun, that's pretty nice. But there is the Falcium Mg34s, and these have exceptional stealth, and they can fire up to 1,500 meter range, which is really nice. So I think these would definitely be better. Yeah, that Raider trait, giving them the exceptional stealth, is just beautiful. There is IG-18s available. It's also a card of MG42s. These are better than the MG34s due to that extra rate of fire and the accuracy there. MG42s just apply way more damage. Then there's the Opel Blitz munition trucks. LG42, we've seen before, does have those 105mm shells. Got the HE shells, which can do some serious damage, 4.1 damage there. and then the heat round that can penetrate up to 100 millimeters of armor. High rate of fire, but you don't get that many of them. It's only 3 on a card in Phase A, 6 in B, 9 in C. Then for commanders, there's the option to have a motorcycle, the Fallschirm Commandant, which is the 4-man squad with 3 MP40s and an FG42, and then there's the commander here. So it looks like a captured Lynx. That's cool. There's a Bren, closed hatch. Pretty cool. I like the camo. Right, over to the anti-tank tab. We've got the Falcium Panzerschreck squads. Seen Panzerschrecks many times before. Pupschen. Good old Pupschen. These could be reasonably good for ambushing, but that's about it. There's the PAC 11747. This is a Breda 47. These are really nice because of the rate of fire. So the 20 round per minute rate of fire makes these excellent for transport sniping at the start of the game. And the fact they only cost 30 points and can be brought in with the faster transport, the Hortier, is fantastic. So these could be used to great effect in the early game. Pack 40 available, only 1 card available in Phase A. Then there's a card of Nashorns, only 1 card again available in Phase A. Jagdpanzers available in Phase A and B. You've only got 1 card available, and then there's Pack 43s. So again, the availability on the cards is something you've really got to watch out for here. You've only got 1 of each card in the anti-tank tab other than the Panzerschreck. I kind of like it because it forces you to like diversify your units a bit more. So you'll have a little bit more to play with, as opposed to just kind of picking what's ever strongest and putting lots of that in. You're kind of forced to sprinkle in a lot of different stuff, which can be helpful in some cases. Of course, often you'd wish that you had more of one thing, but this is just how it is. And I kind of like it in this division. It makes it a bit different. Let's move over to the anti-air though. Got the Falcium Flak 38 20mm. Again, these are raiders, so they have exceptional stealth. Very, very nice. You can get 6 of these in Phase A. They can be brought in with the SBA trucks. You'd probably do just to save the Kubels and the Hotches for other things. There is the Bredders available though. Bredder 20mm. You can get 4 of these in Phase A, 45 points. I'm not sure if this is worth it more than these. Just because you pretty much have the same effectiveness, I think. Unless the Bredder's a little bit better. The suppression from the Bredder is much more. So, in theory, it would force planes back quicker. Also, the damage is higher. Or is that just because of the AP shells? I think it's just because of the AP shells, but the HE is definitely stronger. That's the bullets that they use for anti-air at least. Yeah, suppression's way better on the Bredder. The AP shells are interesting. I'm not sure if that's going to be very useful. I think they'd be worth trying out. Anyway, the STKF Z71 is available. Classic Flak 36 on the back of the STKF-Z. And then there's the Flak 36 88s available. Good old 88s. Can be brought in with multi-munitions if you wanted to. Only 6 multi-munitions available. Be interested to see how that helps in the artillery tab, if at all. So artillery tab. Falcium Beobachter are the first ones. Can be supplement Recon if you don't have enough cards, I guess, in the Recon tab. Falcium Mg34s. I'm not sure if these are going to be needed. There's a lot of cards in the Infantry tab, so I assume you'll be able to fit 2 leaders in here. But then again, there's not many options for artillery otherwise, so... Let's see. This is the Skoda 75mm howitzer. It's interesting gun. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. I think the rate of fire is just like really low, and the damage is just a bit lackluster. So whilst they are cheap, don't think people are really going to use these all that much. Maybe they will. There is cards of 81mm mortars. There's the Falcium mortars, which do have the Raider trait, and the radios. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the Falcium 81mm have a radio, which means they can use their own radio to call in corrected shot, and that's really nice. Oh, this is nice as well. These Gebs having the radio available, that's cool. That's going to give them nice corrected shot as well. So these could be pretty strong. You bring them in phase A and phase B. I think in phase B, those things could actually be beastly. And then there's mortars, the 120mm mortars, but these don't have radios. Nothing we haven't seen before there then. Okay, over to the air tab. The air tabs looks pretty standard in general, other than the RE2005. But first of all, we have the CR42 BIS. This is a standard Recon plane. To have the breaders in the nose. It's cool camo, that's for sure. I like the camo a lot. Zoom out a bit and have a good look at that. Very cool. Then we got the ME410 fighters. It's going to be nice for strafing runs. Just do a little bit of damage to support weapons, whilst also being reasonable for taking on like bombers and stuff, but not so much enemy fighters. Like enemy fighters are going to run all over an ME410. Without veterancy, they have the worst agility, so that's not good. As the ME410 with the 8 50kg bombs, you can actually get 2 of these in phase A. That could make them quite good for bombing infantry targets or support weapons. There is the RE2005. This is very cool. I like that a lot. Has 120mm in the nose, 2 20mm in the wings, and then the 2 Spreader guns. 600km/h speed with good agility. That's pretty good. Yeah, 4 of them in phase A, 6 in B, and 8 in C. Honestly, these could dominate the skies in the early game for sure. Ju-88A4 available. These are looking very nice with that camo. But the payload's a bit lackluster. 28 50kg bombs. 8 in phase A, 4 in B, and 7 in C. And then there's 2 cards available of the Ju-88A4s with 4 250kg bombs. This is a payload that I definitely prefer, but you get way less availability. So only 1 available in phase A, 2 in B, and 4 in C. There's the ME109 G6R2s available with the 4 50kg bombs. These could be really nice, fast fighter bombers for sure. Get 3 of them in phase A. The ME410s with the 2 500kg bombs. These can be quite effective because they are fast and have a very good payload. There's the ME109 G6R6. They have a slightly different camo on them, which is cool. I like that a lot. They of course have the gun pods and the nose gun, and then the 2 MG131s in the nose. So yeah, I just really like the attention to detail on the extra camos. They could have just obviously left them the same as the other ME109 G6R6s, but they are different. The ME109 G6 BR21 is available as well with the rockets. Not a huge fan of rockets, those kinds of rockets, honestly. I don't think they do too great. Then there's a Ju-88A4 with 2 500kg bombs and the 50-28, or the 28 50kg bomb, sorry. That is a huge payload, but they go very slow. 315km/h. Damn. It'd be fun to try out though, because not only would you saturate an area, you'd also do some serious damage on top of it. So yeah, I'd love to try that out. But that's it. That's the first Fallschirmjager. Now, I think the first Fallschirmjager is a little more lackluster than the New Zealand division. I think the New Zealand division had a lot of spicy new units, a lot of new infantry and so on, with a very cool uniforms and a lot of new camos and all that kind of stuff. A lot of attention to detail put in the New Zealand. I think the trouble with the first Fallschirmjager is it kind of has a lot of the problems that other divisions have in the game, where they share the same unit pools, and that kind of makes them not as exciting. But one thing that we've got to look at as a whole for the first Fallschirmjager is there's potential for Fallschirmjagers with heavy armor, and that is a very strong combination. One thing that the third Fallschirmjager obviously lacks is the big tank support. They only have Stugs. So this first Fallschirmjager could have a lot of potential. I'm surprised there are no Stugs or like smaller medium tanks available though. Because the Recon tab's bare for Recon vehicles as well, really. But let's put together a quick deck. So, first of all, I'm probably going to take some Fallschirmpanzerabwehr. I don't know if I want them in phase A or B. I'm thinking of doing Aufklärer in Kubel MGs in phase A, and then Fallschirmpanzerabwehr in B. Not sure if I want the Scharfschütze, just because of their cost. I think I'm going to keep it like that for now. We'll move on to the infantry tab. I'm not a huge fan of this disheartened unit. The Grenadiers with Mg34s though, the availability is really nice. Maybe you can't upvet them. There's probably a reason you can't, because of the Mg42. I think these are going to be decent line infantry. The Stoßtrupp, I think phase A is probably the best time to use them. Use them with the Horches to get them into position early on. That can probably do a lot of damage against oncoming units. Bastion Pioneers, I'm definitely going to bring these, but I'm not sure what phase. Probably phase B, I think. I could bring them in with extra veterancy to make them even stronger, but I think we're going to bring them in without. I have them as a phase B unit. I'm not sure what deployment type I'm going to go with yet either. I feel like it can definitely be a balance because of the Tigers and also the amount of heavy bombers that you can get. But this could also suit a more Vanguard and Maverick playstyle as well. Maybe even a flatline. Saying that, it could be a V for Victory. If you sort of applied a little bit of pressure with Tigers and Fallschirmjager in the early game, and then like sort of flood the late game with more Tigers and so on. I guess it depends how deep into the tank tab you want to go, because honestly, you're probably just going to go A, B, and C with these cards, I would reckon. And it doesn't actually give you that many tanks because the general availability on Tigers is low. So it's kind of scary. I probably want some Fallschirmjager in phase A. They are very expensive though. We're going to want the Grenadiers in phase A. I don't know if I want to use the Horsch though for those. I think I might just use the Kettengrads. Yeah, I'll use the Kettengrad, why not? Looks cool. And then Fallschirmjager, probably put in phase B, but the artillery tab, we could also get Fallschirmjager in phase A. Or phase B, sorry. And they only cost 10 points more, and you get the same number, but you get way more men in a squad, which is actually really nice. It feels like I'm kind of limited for choice here. I'm definitely going to put a Fallschirmjager in phase C. I might want to cut down on veterancy, depending on how many people I bring. But let's do some phase B Grenadiers with Mg42s to accompany the Falcium Pioneers. Maybe we do like a phase C card of these as well, and then upvet the Fallschirmjager. I feel like that could be a good shout. 3-star Fallschirmjager at the medium range, just so damn good. Unless I want to do Fallschirmjagers in phase B and then move the Falcium Pioneers to phase C. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do, since we have a little bit of room to work with here, I'm going to put 2 cards of the Fallschirmjager in Phase A with 1-star veterancy. And then we'll have enough for the late game as well. That's cool. That'll do for now. So, got to be a little bit careful here, because we could end up with no tank support in Phase A. Actually saying that, Jagdpanzers could be used in Phase A instead of Tigers. So you could do Phase B Tigers and then Phase C Tiger, like so. Don't really want to spend the 4 points on a 1 Falcium... sorry, 1 Tiger E Führer. Kind of seems like a waste. Support tab. I do like the potential for the LG42, but it's often, I think, outmatched by the IG-18 because of its range. I guess the nice thing that the LG42 has is the Raider trait for the exceptional stealth, so potentially we can get away with some damage because of that. I might go for it in Phase B, I'm thinking. Bring them in with a cue ball. I definitely want some Falcium Mg34s. I want to try these out. We'll bring these in Phase A. There was something that I wanted to bring in specifically with the horseshoes. I can't remember what that was. I'm going to bring in this though, the dingo. Alright, let's just kind of continue through here. Anti-tank tab. Definitely going to want the Pak 43s. Not sure when though. Probably Phase B, I would say. Mainly so that we can counter IS-2s should the need arise. Nashorns are available in Phase A. And we're going to put the Jagdpanzers in Phase A as well. That kind of gives us our armored support for Phase A. It was these, wasn't it? Yeah, the Breeders. We're going to bring those in the Horchers for sure. So I can probably bring these in Horchers as well. Because they're going to be something we buy at the start. Let's put maybe the Gunführer. Actually, no. The reason I'm not going to put the Gunführer in a Horch is so that it doesn't get ahead of my convoy. That's often one thing that can happen. I've seen it happen quite a bit. People like to put their leaders in fast transports, and then at the start of the game, the fast transports just like pull ahead of the main convoy, and they're always like the first to engage, and you end up like losing your leader at the start, which can be kind of annoying. Probably going to need some supply in here, so I'm just kind of leaving the slots in the support tab for now. As for the anti-tank though, I feel like we kind of need a unit of Panzerschrecks at least. Bring them in with the motorcycle. And I probably want to bring in the cards of Pak 40s as well, but is it worth 3 points? I'm not entirely sure. It could be worth dropping the Nashorn to bring in the Pak 40s. Kind of what I'm thinking right now. But I want to try these out, so we'll bring those in. Definitely going to be bringing in the 88s. You can have 2 in Phase A and 4 in Phase B. There's no Phase C cards available. The Breeders can be brought in Phase C. Maybe I just do that instead. Bring those in Phase C to kind of fill out my anti-air. Maybe bring some of these as well. No, we'll do some of these in Phase A. Let's do that. Okay, then we got artillery. I want to bring these in Phase B. Shame we can't bring them in with the multi-ammunition trucks. I don't think anything can be brought in with multi-ammunition trucks, so it's only the blacks that can use them. Makes them very expensive. These do come in with a lot of ammo, so I don't think that a supply truck is like really major priority. I'm going to use a Falcium Battleführer, and in Phase A we're going to use some of these mortars. I I'm kind of tempted to bring in 2 cards of those because the radios could make them really effective. There's no point in having more than 1 card in Phase A, I don't think. Or is there? I mean, if they have radios and you can aim them very quickly because of that, a corrected shot could be pretty damn good. And kind of putting a lot of points into 81mm mortars at the start of the game could really catch someone out. Especially in town engagements. Let's go through the air tab, because I feel like we're going to get quite a lot of aircraft in here. I definitely want to try out the new fighters, of course, so we'll bring those in Phase A. Probably going to bring in some bombers otherwise. I really want to try out these bombers. We'll bring those in Phase C. And I might also bring these in Phase C as well. That leaves us with 1 point. Is that worth it? I don't know. We don't have any supply, so that won't work. We definitely need probably Phase B or even Phase C supply. I think Phase C supply would be fine, actually. Oh no, never mind, because we'd need to supply the mortars, so we'll need to do Phase B. Yeah, I'm going to drop some infantry, I think. We'll drop a card of Fallschirmjagers, and that's going to give me back 3 points. We'll put them back to 9. We don't lose as much availability. Then that gives me a chance to drop another card of Opel Blitz in here, because when you have radios, you tend to get through ammo quite quickly because corrected shot aims faster. And that also leaves another 2 points for a third air unit. So we'll go for just those bombers for now. I think I'm going to bring in some of these in Phase B, some Me-109 G6R2s with the 50kg bombs. It's either that or some of these bombers. Maybe the Me-410s could be a good shout. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Me-410. Alright, that'll do. That is a very, very rough deck. Again, this is one that I'm going to have to play around with a lot. I think the tanks having the Tigers and then like the Jagdpanzer be my Phase A armor is quite good. I think Pack 40s in Phase A is going to be better than the Jagdpanzer, so we'll bring those in. Or better than the Nashorn, sorry. So yeah, we'll go for... Is she saying that? Is it... I feel like the Nashorn could be really useful in those scenarios where you bump into heavy armor early. I'll hold on to the Nashorns, I think, for now. So we got the Fallschirm Abwehr and Panzer Abwehr. Recon tab, I feels like a little bit lacking numbers. Infantry tab's looking fine. I feel like because the Fallschirmjäger cost a lot, you're probably not going to be bringing in that much infantry. You do have Mg34s in the support tab as well, so that's fine. The tank tab is fine. Yeah, I think the Jagdpanzer and the Tigers are definitely cards you want to take, and the Pack 43 in B makes sense. The anti-air tab, maybe I can get away with taking out the Brothers at some point. I think I could probably do that to save a couple points, but I really want to try them out, so we're going to leave them in there for now. So I think the Brother could be removed. I could probably take out the LG42s as well, and that would give us like another 4 points to put in other things. That's probably the changes I'd make if you guys want to mess around with it yourselves. But there we have it. That is the first Fallschirmjäger. I think it has a lot of similarities, of course, to the third Fallschirmjäger. Like a lot of the infantry units aren't necessarily shiny and new. But the mix of Fallschirmjäger with armor is something that does quite excite me, and I feel like could be pretty strong in certain scenarios, especially in team games. I feel like you're going to have infantry or armor wherever you need it. Like you've got basically everything you need for a team game. For a 1v1 scenario, I think this could be optimized to 1v1, but the lack of medium and fast armor in general is something that I think is going to slow down this deck in 1v1s. I think it's definitely going to be more of a team game division. So yeah, there we go. That's kind of my opinions on the first Fallschirmjager. Let's just go ahead and type that in here. First Fallschirmjager. And that's it. Call it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the look at this division. It took me a little bit less time actually than the last one, the New Zealand division. But that New Zealand division is definitely my favourite out of this battle for Rimini, for sure. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.